You're not broke because you're lazy. You're broke because you trade time for money. I used to do that too. I drove a 26-foot truck. 2 hours of driving to make $100. But one day, I made $100 with 2 phone calls and 4 texts. That's not magic. That's a system. In this video, I'll show you how I went from a job to building systems that generate passive income, create leverage, and gave me financial freedom. You'll see real examples. And if you stay till the end, I'll even show you the exact steps I took to go from $300 a day to $2,000 a day. Let's talk about how wealth is built, not with effort, but with systems. Welcome to Wealth and Wisdom by Ben. This channel is all about building systems that create wealth, generate passive income, and give you real financial freedom. No fluff. No get-rich-quick nonsense. Just real strategies, real stories, and real leverage. If you're ready to stop working harder and start working smarter, you're in the right place. Today, I want to share with you a story. A story that started not with millions, but with 1 truck and a dream of financial freedom. I wasn't born into wealth. I created it by building a system. It all began when I bought a 26-foot truck. That single asset wasn't just a vehicle. It was my first income engine. At first, I drove it myself. Every dollar I made was earned by trading my time and energy. If I wanted $100 in revenue, I had to drive for 2 hours. That was my job, but I didn't want a job. I wanted leverage. I wanted wealth that didn't depend on how many hours I could stay awake. So I listened to the market. Customers started calling more than I could handle alone. That's when I saw it, not a problem, but a possibility. I began partnering with other trucking companies. I wasn't just a driver anymore, I was a broker. I connected the demand to the supply, and I took a margin. Suddenly, my income was no longer capped by my hours. Instead of 2 hours of work, I made $100 with 2 phone calls and a few texts. From 2 hours to 8 minutes. From job to system. That's leverage. And that system kept growing. What started as $300 a day soon became $2,000. Not because I worked harder, but because I built smarter. My wealth didn't come from sweat. It came from systems that scaled without me. I didn't have employees. I didn't have a boss. What I had was a network and a strategy. That truck was no longer an asset I had to manage. It was part of a system that ran with or without me. Soon, I wasn't even in the city. I was camping with my family, answering calls in nature. And while I enjoyed the trees and the silence, my revenue kept flowing. That's financial freedom. I wasn't chasing income. Income was chasing me. And when people ask how I built wealth, I don't say I got lucky. I say I built systems. That trucking business, I eventually sold it. It was no longer just a source of revenue, it became an exit asset. The profit from that exit, I invested. And those investments, they created passive income. Now even when I sleep, I build wealth. Then came other systems. I launched a small temp agency, a lean model. No office, just connections. I matched workers with companies. Same principle, no employees, just leverage. Then a digital marketing company. No big team. Just tools, automation, and strategy. Revenue without physical limits. More systems. More freedom. The pattern was always the same. Start small. Build a system. Leverage it. Exit. Invest. Repeat. By the time I was 40, I didn't need to work again. Not because I had billions, but because my income kept growing while my time commitment kept shrinking. And now I spend my days growing assets instead of logging hours. Making choices, not sacrifices. This is what most people never understand. Wealth doesn't come from saving money in a jar. It comes from building a system that produces income, whether you show up or not. So ask yourself, are you building a system or just a salary? Because wealth is not an accident. It's a design. And you don't need a job. You need a system. So now you've seen how 1 truck turned into a system, and how that system turned into freedom. But here's the question. What if you could build a system that doesn't just pay you, but grows even while you sleep? In the next episode, we're going deeper. The invisible income engine. How systems earn when you rest. I'll show you the psychology, structure, and mindset behind building income-producing systems that require less of you, not more. Because wealth isn't about effort. It's about architecture. So if today's video sparked something inside you, hit that like button to tell the algorithm this message matters. And if you're ready to stop working in your life and start working on your freedom, subscribe. This is just the beginning. Welcome to the journey. Welcome to Wealth and Wisdom by Ben.